Final time of the Sean Lewis Show, San Diego Sports 760. Aztecs and Wyoming Cowboys coming up, as we've told you, Saturday at 4 p.m. Tickets are available at goaztecs.com. Wyoming, we just referenced it, coming off a shutout win, an impressive win at home, 28-0. What's unique here is the Cowboys have changed coordinators on offense, and it certainly worked against CSU. How does that challenge you and your staff, knowing that they've had this in-season change?
Yeah, it's unique, right? Like usually you get to this point in the journey and you're like, okay, hey, we're going to flip the page, and you start the prep and you start to learn about the opponent, and all right, you got the record and the volume of games that they've played, and like, okay, like you can break all those games down and you got a good feel. And it's like, well, now there's this pivot where, okay, well, there's one sample size with that guy calling it, right? And so there's some things schematically and philosophically with who they're going to be. I mean, they're going to be 11 personnel. They're going to be 12 personnel. They want to win the battle at the line of scrimmage. I think this is going to be, from a conference game standpoint, the firmest test that we have seen to date along the O-line and the D-line. Like, they are strong. You can tell the continuity that Coach Bull started when things were passed to Jay, and the work that he has done to stabilize through that transition, and now being in year two. One thing that's remained consistent is that they develop their guys. Like, there's guys that we're seeing that we played last year along the fronts in particular that were good players that have now elevated, and you can tell the work of their strength and conditioning staff, the work of, that individual player is really, truly special, right? And you love to see that. So, they have a philosophy that they believe in. They want to run the ball. They're going to take some play action shots off of that. So it is unique because usually at this point, hey, you're into November, you can kind of look back on what has happened and transpired through September and October, and you got a really good feel of, okay, like, this is where they're hanging their hat. And now there's this, again, like we've talked about it here before, where play callers are kind of like, guys who play cards, right? Like they're professional gamblers in a sense that, like, you have styles, you have tendencies when you're in these critical situations. Like, what do you default to? And we got, for this play caller and married with this club, we have a one-game sample size of what that is, and it was a dominant victory. So there wasn't, a whole lot of these critical moments because they won in such dominant fashion with the turnovers that they were generating, the way they controlled the pace of the game. It was really a great recipe for winning football that they put down last week in a big rivalry game.
Yeah, it was a huge win. There's no question about it. You're rolling off of a huge win. When I look at the theme of this season, it kind of reminds me a little bit of, maybe it's a handful of seasons ago, maybe 5 years ago. I remember there was a season where the Aztecs defense kept knocking starting quarterbacks out of games. And so all of a sudden you'd have this guy jumping in, playing with house money off the bench, like, hey, win or lose, I'm going to try my hardest. And sometimes you would see this really talented young quarterback where there's very little film on come out and offering a different dynamic. Maybe the primary quarterback was a passer and this guy's more of a dual threat, and it just changed week to week to week. There were like 4 instances of this during one of these seasons. This year, it seems like the theme is right before a team plays the Aztecs, they're going to wholesale switch something major with their coaching staff or their quarterback.
Yeah.
How much does that stress the prep?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it unique, right? And then it goes back to, we talk ad nauseum about, all right, response. Like, what's going to be your response quality when events happen? So, like, just recognizing and understanding, like, we could get all caught up and anxious and nervous and, twisted up in, hey, this is a new starting quarterback. It's a new play caller. We only have a one-game sample size. Well, what does he do best? Like, all right, pause. Like, what information can we go get, right? So, like, what film can we watch on this new quarterback? What other games can we watch when this guy was a play caller, so that we can be prepared, we can be trained to respond to the problems that they're going to throw at us. And again, our team, particularly the defense, has done an unbelievable job of responding, right? There was the sudden changes that we saw last week. There's been the sudden changes that we've seen throughout this year to where, man, they step up, they pop off the bench. All right, you put the ball down there, cool, let's go play. And they respond in a great way.
The benefit of having staff and resources is that you can sort of chase things deep down a rabbit hole occasionally. Mm-hmm. If it's not this season, maybe there's a story from your past. Like, how far will you go to get that information? Like, are we watching a coach on the sidelines of high school games? Like, will we ever go that far back to see, like, this is what he did at Chaminade High School?
Yeah,
how far are the lengths you will go?
I mean, I've popped on tape this week from film that I've watched from 2021.
Okay.
Right. So like we're going back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and again, I think when you, again, are in this position, and all of us, like this position of this team, the commitment of these players, and the passion of this staff, like there is no journey too far to travel to go find the information that we can give to our guys so that they can go play at their best. So again, luckily there's caffeine. Luckily there's technology that has made it a little bit more efficient. But I mean, yeah, there's been some quick naps this week, right? As we're in the throes of game planning in a normal week again. And again, it's what you sign up for. It's what our staff signed up for. And again, the urgency of the focus of the way that the guys have showed up to the building to like, hey, what do you got, coach? Like, give me the information. And like guys texting us like, hey, have you gotten to the 3rd and 9 against the Buffs game earlier in the year when they did this? And if we have this call, like this kind of breaks my rule. So what's the answer? And we're like, hey, it's Sunday evening, man. Like we're still on normal down in this instance. And they're like, well, hey, I want the information.
Yeah.
Like I want to know how we're going to solve this problem. And it's like, awesome. Like, yeah, we're going to get it to you. Right. But it's like when the players are activating that and the players are like, hey, coach, click 42. Like if I get this leverage and I have this route, like I'm thinking about solving the problem this way. Like, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, what's the emoji? Like the respect, like,
yeah,
right.
salute.
Like salute. Absolutely. Hell yes. Solve it that way. That'd be awesome. Like it's just cool to show the investment, the time, the effort, and the energy and the focus that, again, everyone a part of the program is putting into this right now.
Is it the same as like Brian Dutcher will say there's coach-run teams and there's coach-led teams and there's player-led teams? Now, basketball's different than football. Your organization is much larger and there's unique elements to both of the sports. Does the same hold true that a player-led team has a higher ceiling than a coach-led team?
Yeah, I think that's a universal truth regardless of sport, regardless of organization, right? Like if we were running a Fortune 500 company, right? And okay, I'm the CEO of it, but you guys are each a department head and, you know, hey, like it's advertising and then it's a product development and each of you felt empowered to know, all right, here's the job that needs to get done top down. And I'm not going to micromanage how you do it. Like you're talented, let's go do it. And you guys grab hold of it and you take ownership of it, then it becomes yours. And I think that just becomes, again, a source of energy, a source of pride that you want to do that at an elite level. And there's been really cool moments like with our guys, like the 4th and 1 against a team up north that we had early on in the game. It's like, hey, they come over, there's a stoppage in play. We're kind of going back and forth as a staff. How do we play this? Woo, 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 woo. And like you talk to the bigs, like, what do you guys want to do? And like, of course, they're like, coach, let's go. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys really want to do that? Like, coach, come on. Like, no, seriously, like you guys think you can get this done? And they're like, yeah, coach, let's go. Like, what do you, I'm like, all right. If you guys think you can do it, like, this is a culture play, this is a culture moment. Like, you guys want it, huh? Like, yeah, coach, give us the op. I'm like, okay, go. And like, as they're trying out, it's like, oh, you guys chose to do this. And if you chose to do it in this way, I just unequivocally believe if it's your choice, come hell or high water, you're going to find a way to make it work. And I mean, shoot, we needed 1 yard. We got 2. First down, good guess.
Yeah, we live in a city that's sort of, it lends backdrop to, you know, the great power of our military and obviously some of the most elite operators train on our shores, the SEALs, right? And when you think about what you just said, and John, what you were alluding to, it's that idea of when you have a team that believes in each other, and they're given orders and they're given directives and you're given, you know, and they train together and they live together and they feast together and they sorrow together and they toil together. And then they're given the rope to make decisions in the moment where, hey, the bullets are going to be flying for real, boys. And when that happens, you know, you're not going to have a training officer behind you on a field mic telling you where to go and, hey, check your blind spot. Like, no. It's
right.
Up to you. I know that you guys have had visitors from some of the bases around San Diego. Do you think that has influenced some of that culture here?
Absolutely. I mean, we were very intentional. I've always been very intentional about who gets the privilege to stand in front of our team, right? Like that's something that, man, we're working at it each and every single day. So if you get the high honor and the privilege to stand in front of our team, like it better offer real value to the club that we can then go execute and do our job the right way, right? Like so much is made about culture and environment. And again, like all of that has been said ad nauseum, right? But like, we ain't trying to be the best at culture. Like, we're here to win freaking games, right? And graduate and become great humans, right? So yeah, very much so talking to those elite operators, right? Like, I don't want guys that are just obedient robots that you download them with the information and that's all that they do and they can only think that way. Like, I want disciplined, elite problem solvers. Like, you understand the call, you understand the intent of the call, you understand the rules and the tools that I've given you, and you understand the head coaches or coordinators' intent in this moment. And now for the next 4 to 6 seconds while this play is going to go on, you got to go solve it. And you need to have the personal pride to go make it right. And you need to have the personal discipline and ownership to do right, not just for yourself, but for the good of the team, so we can go dominate this rep and every rep for as many reps as it takes until the Aztecs earn the right to be called winners yet again.
Sean, before we go, what are the keys here this weekend, Saturday, to earn another win at home?
Yeah, we got to do a great job controlling the controllables. So much that we've talked about, the emotion of the win, flushing that, clearing it, having great work, which we've done, and then showing up and protecting our home and not beating ourselves is critically important. We mentioned the battle of the line of scrimmage is going to be paramount. And then we got to do a great job valuing the football. Again, like, it's so important. They've named the game after it. We got to value it. We got to take care of it. We didn't do that the last time that we were out, and excited to see us respond to that challenge.
Get to Snapdragon Stadium Saturday, 4 p.m. Perfect start time. Aztecs looking for a 6th straight win. They're hosting the Wyoming Cowboys at 4 p.m. Pre-game coverage at 2. Tickets at goaztecs.com. Sean, as always, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you this weekend, all right?
Guys, thank you. Let's sell out Snapdragon. History for homecoming. Go Aztecs.
There you go. Get to goaztecs.com. For Sean Lewis and Rich Orenberger, I'm John Schaefer. We'll catch up with you on Saturday. This is San Diego Sports 760.